Hey there. Hopefully this is working. Just still getting used to Facebook Live. I'm always starting these things off, and I've only done a few now, but I'm usually starting it off going, are you guys there? Is this working? So I apologize for our replay viewers who are catching this later and who have to kind of get through this awkward start. As long as I know that someone is there, then I will carry on. So if you're here and you're chiming in, or if you're tuning in, can you chime in? Can you just shoot me a little comment and let me know that this is working, and then I will carry on with our topic today. That'll be awesome. We are talking about social media today, and it's like scrapbooking about scrapbooking, isn't it? We're talking about social media on social media, but you know, that's what makes sense. Oh, good. Hey, Ray. Good to have you here. Excellent. Okay, so let me go ahead and just dive in, even though I know that, hey, Susan, I know that most of our viewers are going to be replay viewers. I really appreciate the live interaction and would love your questions or comments as much as you want to give them. So thanks for being here. And I am grateful to see so many of you commenting. This is very helpful to me. The thing that I've learned about Facebook Live is that the comments don't always come through really live and right in that moment. And so if I respond to you and it had been a few seconds late, then you'll understand that that's just what I'm seeing on my end. Any of your little emojis and thumbs ups, comments, any of that is really helpful for me because I know that you're here. Hey, Stephanie, in Frederick, Maryland, that's awesome. I was born in Frederick, Maryland. That's a true story. That's really cool. I'm glad you're here. Okay, I have been talking all morning, and that's actually why I'm a little late. Can we just talk about timing for a minute? I said yesterday, I gave you guys the heads up, hey, all the way from South Africa, that's amazing. I said yesterday that I was planning on getting on Facebook Live today and that I would be on about noon. And so that's great. That's great for planning. I thought for sure I'd be in the clear for noon, and here I'm starting around 12:30. So I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing or not to tell you, to give you the heads up on what time I'm thinking, because I almost always can't make it exactly happen. Stuff comes up. I'm in an office and we're in meetings and things go longer or whatever. And so I don't want to, I used to not say anything about timing because I don't want to set myself or you up for disappointment. You know what I mean? So that's kind of point number one, actually, with this topic of social media. And I'm certainly open to your feedback on that. But let's go ahead and just get into more of this. So today is a milestone for us on social media, and it's really exciting, and it's something that kind of came up out of nowhere because I didn't realize until kind of recently that we were coming up on 10,000 posts on Instagram. 10,000. If you look at other people that you follow or other brands or companies and you tap on their profile to see how many shares they've done, no matter how long they've been on, most people haven't done 10,000. That's not a bragging point. It's actually kind of the opposite. I'm like, what? Do we share that much? And we totally do. I totally do. And it's been a topic of discussion many times as a team, actually. We've been talking about how much is too much and is this enough? And so, yeah, I don't have the perfect answer, but I do want to talk about it because a lot of you, well, all of you are in social media, duh, of course, but some of you are small business owners or medium business owners that are using social media. So I thought we could just talk about it. Oh, Christina, you said that I just surpassed 85,000 likes on Facebook, and I didn't even know that, so thank you for telling me. This is great. And Becky in Minnesota, you're working on Project Life right now. Got Deborah in Mesa. And oh, that's amazing. And Spencer, you're saying you haven't even broken 300 in the few years that you've had Instagram. Well, that's the thing. When you're using social media, let's not do the comparison game, right? So don't feel bad about anything, and nor should I feel bad about anything, because social media it's personal. So even when it's about business, it's personal. So what works for me on social media may not work for you. What works for a different company is not necessarily going to work for another company. And there are so many resources out there that have to do with social media training, social media boot camp, social media 101. There's so much education and there's so many resources, and I think it's all awesome. I also think that when we hear, well, you should do this, or these are the right times, or this is the right amount, or this is the strategy that you should use, that's all cool, and we should definitely take into consideration all of those things that we're absorbing. But I think that it's really important, and the most important, that we take what we learn in here and we translate that for ourselves individually, because it's not going to be, we're not cookie cutter people, and we're not going to be cookie cutter situations on social media. And thanks, Bobby Joe. She says that she loves that we are so active on social media. And that's so cool. And Marianne, you said, if it weren't for social media, you would not have been able to find the Cleveland hide and seek. Are you the one that found it? I don't even think I knew that. Did you share a picture with us? That's so awesome. That's so awesome. Very cool. And hello in Sweden. That's very cool. All right, so let's move into some other things. I want you guys to think, if you have a question for me that you're curious about, you're wondering how I use social media or what I do about a certain something with social media, this is the place to ask the questions and let me know. This is so great. Christina says that she only found out about us because I know a lot of you have been longtime fans, but some of you are really brand new. So I really appreciate this. And welcome to all of you who are new. She says, I only found out about you guys from an Instagram takeover of the Hobby Lobby page. Social media takeovers are such a great idea too. And I agree with that. I've done a few takeovers, Hobby Lobby. I've done it with Michael's. I think they've asked me to. And that's really fun. And that is a way that you can actually gain exposure and knowing of other companies or individuals or brands. And so that's really cool. Okay, Bobby Joe says, what program do you use to schedule your Instagram posts? And that's such a great question. There's not one that we use. Right? That's crazy, right? Because isn't that what every company does? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Here's the thing. I'm not normal. I'm just not normal, and I never have been, and I don't ever plan to be the norm in a lot of what I do. And so I'm not proud of that. I would like to say, you know what? There's a great app that I use and it schedules all my posts. There's not one that I have found that is absolutely perfect for my needs. So for example, there are apps, I won't name them because I honestly can't even remember the name of most of them, but there are apps that you can actually schedule, hey Jacqueline, that you can schedule your posts and you can actually plan them out and schedule and say, I'm plugging it in, here's my share for 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock and here it is and it just does it. That doesn't work for me so well. And this is why, because some of those, for example, are user-friendly for certain platforms, but not all, including Instagram. Now, I love Instagram. I love it. I do. It's real to me. It's all about the visual, and it's clean, and it's organized. I love it. Some of those apps don't connect to Instagram, so I might schedule a post. And that's great that it can automatically post to, say, here on Facebook, but then I have to still manually post on Instagram. So I'm like, what's the point? Doesn't make sense to me, right? And so I don't have an answer for that that's actually helpful. I'm just gonna be really real with you. Heidi, hi Heidi, hi Heidi, tongue twister. She says, I love that your posts are real, not scheduled. So thanks Heidi, I appreciate that. They are real, they're 100% real. Everything that we share is very much like organic and just what we want to share. But this is what we do. I'm happy to share. Wendy, I love you. She's so cute. So what we do is we actually have gotten really good about planning. And when I say we, I used to do social media on my own, 100%, totally just kind of whatever came up or whatever I wanted to share. And then obviously like whatever products are new or whatever announcements we had, it would just kind of happen. And every day throughout the day, it would just kind of happen. Well, for those of you who use social media for your business, you would know that it's a time suck. Now, I'm not saying it's not worth it because I think social media is totally worth it. If you're using it without a strategy and if you're using it without planning, and I'm speaking from experience because I have years of experience of not being methodical or planning ahead, what happens is you're not only taking those breaks throughout your day to like write up that post and share it, Sean says, I love the little dings on my phone that let me know you have posted something. Thanks, Sean. Thank you. That's so nice. It's good to see you here, Sean. You're not only getting those little distractions of like, okay, I'm going to carve out 5 or 10 minutes to write this post and share this. Kind of an ineffective use of your time, but think about it. Even when you're doing that, and even when you're not doing that, even when you're just working your normal work day, doing your thing, you know that you've got another post that you want to do in a few hours, for example. So even though you're not actively doing it at the moment, stick with me, I promise this will make sense. You're thinking about it subconsciously. It's kind of there, and it's kind of lingering, and you kind of don't think that you're thinking about it, but you kind of are. And this is why I believe so much in list making, for example. I have a whole video on list making. Go to YouTube, search Becky Higgins lists, and you'll see what I'm talking about. My theory is as soon as you take the to-do or the action item or the task or whatever you want to call it, and you get it out of your brain and you put it on paper, it's a game changer, no matter what. This is why I like list making, because it frees up space in your brain. Bobby Joe just said it too. It's brain dumping. You take it here, you put it here, it's no longer stored here. So you are mentally, psychologically, emotionally able to just do the stuff that you need to do, and you won't forget about the thing you wrote down. So how does this tie into social media? As I have evolved in my own use of social media over the last 6 or so, 7, maybe 7 years, in terms of using it for the business, I've evolved a lot. And I still don't have it all figured out, but I figured out a few things. 10,000 posts later, I figured out a few things that work for me. And one of those things that is surprisingly more recent is planning and actually scheduling posts. And so we have a team calendar, because now I'm not alone. I have a team, and we all have access to this calendar that is specifically for social sharing. So at any given day, at any given time, I can look on any day and I can see what we've mapped out that we think is going to be on that certain day. We have certain things that are repeats, not repeats, but that are regulars, right? They're scheduled. We know that we're going to share a sample page from the app every 2 days or 3 days or whatever it is. I know that I'm going to share a quote on one of my Cultivating a Good Life quotes twice a week. I've got it calendared. And so there's not all this last minute stuff. It's so helpful. Crystal and some others of you are asking about planners. Yeah, we have a Project Life planner. It's unrelated to the topic, and I do want to stay on the topic of social media, but yes, we do have a Project Life planner. So it's kind of in that category and that family of planners, and you can check it out at beckyhiggins.com in our shop. So you can go take a peek. All right, so back on social media, this whole planning thing has really been a game changer for me personally. And I'm gonna tell you how I do it, okay? So I don't have a perfect system for everybody. This is what we do. So we have these regularly scheduled social media posts that we know we're gonna do. And we schedule them out, and we kind of have a plan. So what is our latest rhythm is, because I'm still so involved in social media, this is not something I've passed off to someone else, but I do have multiple people that are involved in different ways. So for example, Tony is our shop manager, and Tony knows what's going on in the shop. Hey Kara, good to see you here. Hey Kelly, awesome. So Tony knows what's going on in the shop on the back end way better than I do. That's not my job. My job is not the shop, and that's her job, right? And so, oh, sorry, I do want to answer this. Bobby Joe says, do you come up with your Cultivating a Good Life quotes, and do you do your graphics for it? They're absolutely my quotes. They're 100% my words, but they're always inspired by something. Part of Cultivating a Good Life is fill in the blank. It's whatever our experiences are, it's whatever we feel. So those quotes completely come from here, and they are usually based on something that I experienced or felt or heard. A lot of it comes from what I felt or learned or heard in church, from the scriptures, from my friends here at work. I mean, it's just my thoughts. And that's what it is. And I do not create my graphics for it. What I do is we have Claire is helping us with a lot of our graphics. And Claire has the kind of a template set up, and she just puts in my words, but then she tells me what she wants handwritten, because that's the style that I wanted to establish from the beginning, where we have 1 or 2 words that kind of stand out. And so I handwrite a couple of those words, I send them back to her, and we do this in a batch, Bobby Joe. So, oh, you're so cute. I don't know why that makes you like me anymore, but that's what we do. And so we batch them. And so I have at any given time 10 or 15 quotes stored up to be efficient. I pass all the quotes to Claire, she plugs them in, I handwrite the stuff, she plugs those in, and then they're just there. They're sitting in Dropbox actually, and hanging out there ready for me to just pull whichever one I feel. And I do a lot of what I feel. It just works for me to go by my feelings. Anyway, I do that whenever necessary. Thanks, Bobby Joe. You're so sweet. And then Emily says, why don't you use your font? I totally do. That's what I actually just said. So we use a regular sans serif, very simple, clean font, so that it's not like completely handwritten aesthetically and design-wise. You just want to kind of find a nice balance. And so I totally use my own handwriting, and it's not my font, it's handwritten because it's organic, it looks natural, and you can tell when something's been typed, even if it's my own handwriting font. That's why I do that. Such good questions. So let me just kind of finish up on the system. So every day I look at tomorrow's lineup on the calendar that I mentioned, and I look and I see, okay, we have this and this and this and this. Okay, there are several people who have helped curate what's going to be shared the next day. Some of it's me, right? Some of it's like I screenshotted something that I saw one of our customers share on social media. Some of it's like just something I want to share, like the black wall in my guest room that I love so much, and I just take a picture of it and I plan on sharing that the next day or whatever. And that makes sense. But a lot of these shares come from other people on our team. I mentioned Tony. She knows best what's going on in the shop. So Tony's the one that's letting me know, hey, such and such is back in stock, so let's do a share on this. So Tony actually gives me the suggested kind of the notes for the caption of like, this is the information. She works with Kara, who's our visual manager, to either pull imagery that we have or create the graphic to help illustrate what we're doing. And then Tony brings those two things together, the information and the image that she got from Kara, and she passes that to me via email. So and we have it all organized that in the subject line, it actually says the date that she wants it shared and what the subject is, and that correlates with the calendar. Now, this might sound a little bit complicated, but it's actually really simple, and we're just kind of getting more into this rhythm of what works for us, and it's totally working for us. It's not gonna make sense for a lot of other people, especially if you're solo running your own business. That's no longer my situation. I have a team of people, so I want everyone's contributions. So here's another example. The whole team knows that I wanna share regularly, once or twice a week, I wanna share what we call hashtag BH favorites. That means that everyone on Team BH at Becky Higgins is encouraged and invited to share their favorite things, right? So, and it's not scheduled like you have this week and you have that. It's just whenever you feel like, you know what, I like this, and I think this would be fun to share. Classic case. Wendy loves her Sonic ice. So last week, it didn't take me saying, hey, Wendy, take a picture of your ice. It was just her as a team member being aware Becky wants to share more of our favorite things. So Wendy sat right here in this gray chair in our conference room, hogged a big bag of ice, and passed that over to me with her quote, like what she loves about ice. I had that, we calendared it, and I shared it, and you guys loved it. So many of you love the ice. That's so fun, right? And so that's part of our rhythm. That's how it works. And so going back to where I left off with the daily rhythm is every day I curate and bring together all those shares that we have from that are planned for the next day from everybody. Yes, Heidi, you love Wendy's grandbaby posts, and guess what? Newsflash, she loves her grandbabies. It's so fun. She posts the cutest. Yeah. Anyway, at HindyWow. So every day I look at the shares for the next day, I bring them all together, I make sure that the mix feels right. I make sure that we are balanced and sharing a little bit of everything, because we are, I will say I am unapologetically a very mixed bag with my social media. It's intentional, It's who I am. It's who we are as a brand. We are not just a scrapbooking company. We're more than that. And it's the company name is Becky Higgins LLC. There's so much of me that's in the brand that it's not going to be just here's a new product and here's a cute layout. It's going to be personal anecdotes, not just of my life, but of our lives, of the team, of what we're doing behind the scenes. It's all important. We also think that it's fun to share other stuff, you know, like sometimes I share something with hashtag at home with Becky. It may not be related to scrapbooking or behind the scenes with our company, but it's something that I personally am doing as a wife, as a mother, as a homemaker at home that I think is valuable to share with you guys. And I think it's valuable because it ties back to one of two things, which is my mission: cultivate a good life and record it. And even if it's fort building on a Saturday, that's totally cultivating a good life for me. And that's what social media is for. When we share pieces of each other, if we share pieces of ourselves to share with other people, we're influencing each other in hopefully good ways. Tina says she loves our photo tips. Thank you. Yeah, did you see the cereal yesterday? What? Why cereal? And yet you read the caption and you know where I went with that, right? Like, yeah, it's worth it and it's important. If you miss that, just on Instagram and here on Facebook, just look at hashtag BH photo tips. I regularly share photo tips, and photo tips is very much not what you would expect from a technical standpoint, but it gets people inspired and gets your wheel spinning about what kind of pictures to take or how to compose a shot. And I'm hearing from a lot of you that you are taking more intentional and better pictures because of it. So that's really awesome. Shalise says, I love those posts too. Makes me get out of my normal bubble and try new things. Good. That's so great. Good. Emily says her pictures are better because of us. That's so cool. Miriam Perez, hi. Hello to you. Oh, this is so cool. Thank you, Becky, for that as well. Okay, good. So other questions about social media. I kind of explained what our rhythm is and our flow, and I don't think I need to actually make this broadcast too much longer. I really just wanted to be open and honest and share what we do that works for us because, you know, it's not the same as everyone else. I admire companies who have it down to a system where they have things booked out for weeks, but I will never do it that structured because we're way too real around here and organic. And if Carrie shows up with mint brownies next week and we're devouring them at the office and it's totally worth sharing because it's fun, or we can't believe that Ray's had 7 of them, or maybe Carrie has the recipe and we share it, well, I'm going to slip that into the social media. So we're not so rigid and we're not so planned that it doesn't feel organic and real. So Bobby Joe, with all the good questions, have you noticed problems with the algorithms that hide your posts from readers? I haven't yet. It's happening. Marianne says, do you actually read all the reply comments on your posts? I absolutely do. I personally, as an individual, read every single comment that is left on my social media, Facebook and Instagram especially. And that I hope that conveys to you that the community is important to me and that it matters and that I care. Now, I cannot respond to every question or comment. You guys know this. Like, there's no possible way. I would not be a good wife and mother or a good boss or a good business owner or anything if I spent all of my time on social media. Hello, of course. But I do try to get in and engage a little bit. Sorry, I'm adjusting myself. I do get in there, and I do have a team, specifically Wendy and Tony, who are always monitoring social media, and they are on top of answering questions as best we can on a regular basis. And so the very best way, just so you know, the very best way to have your questions answered, no matter what it's about, I know it's convenient there on social media, but if you really do have a specific issue with something got messed up with your product or your shipment, or you have a question about printing pages from the app, or you're wondering about when such and such product is coming out, or any of that, customer service at BeckyHiggins.com is a forever and always great email address that you should have in your back pocket. They're here to help you. They are here to answer your questions, and they love to help. So, Bobby Joe, you asked a question I didn't finish answering about the algorithm. So here's what's interesting. I'm aware that that's a thing that's happening. I get that that's like, it's something that really freaked a lot of people out. I will be totally honest and say that when Instagram announced that they were kind of moving to this new algorithm, I was like, what? Why Instagram are you doing this? Why? A lot of us don't like change, but more importantly, it's the reason why I was so drawn to Instagram is the organizational, chronological, visual. I can pick up where I leave off, you know, all these things that we love about Instagram. So I was a little freaked out, but I didn't outwardly freak out. I just was like, wow, okay, this is changing. Okay, just let's hang in there together, right? Because I do love Instagram. So to answer the question for Bobby Joe is I actually I have not yet. And it's been, what, a couple months now? I still have not noticed on my end, like as a user of Instagram, I haven't noticed the switch. I haven't noticed the algorithm change. It still looks chronological to me. So I think they're still rolling that out, and I think it's still affecting some people, but not everyone. Has it affected my reach or my growth or not really. Like, it kind of seems like my followers and my unfollowers are still like this every day. You know, like you gain some, you lose some. There's still good comments, good engagement, lots of likes. So I haven't. I know that a lot of people have. Okay, I'm backing up and looking at your comments. Questions. This is so great. Okay. Jessica says, I love cultivating a good life and recording it. It's always in my head. Every picture I take, lots of love from the UK. Thank you, Jessica. I'm so glad that you're thinking about that. It's something I think about all the time. How can we cultivate a good life, and how can we record it? Because recording it does matter. It's really important, and it helps us to want to live the very best life possible because we're actually recording it, right? It's pretty cool. Okay, Tina says, I miss a lot of posts on Facebook, but yours always comes through. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. You guys want to know what's really discouraging to me? I'm gonna try to wipe this smile off my face. I feel like I smile a lot because I am a happy person. You know what makes me crazy? It makes me crazy to know that such a small percentage of our followers on social media actually see what we post. Did you follow that? That's a real issue for me. Race is our marketing manager. He looks into that. He kind of looks over the optimization, the SEO, the algorithms. Like he knows way more about that than I do. But personally, I struggle with that. At one time I heard that only 4% of what we share actually gets seen. What? I put so much heart and soul, and we as a team put so much heart and soul into the sharing that we do on social media that I'm like, it doesn't even make sense. If Bobby Joe, who has chosen to follow me on social media, whether Facebook or Instagram, if she chooses to have me pop up in her phone, let her see what I share. If she's sick of it, I can use her as an example because we're friends. If she's sick of it, or if it's too much, or if she doesn't like it, she can unfollow. But why on earth, if I have 86,000 people on Facebook, how is only like 4% seeing what I share? What? I'm gonna stop there with that comment. I have no idea what to make of that. It is my very real life frustration when it comes to social media. By the way, and I really should wrap up soon, I'm gonna tell you where I am on social media because you guys are watching me here on Facebook. Facebook Live is awesome, loving it, but I'm in other places as well. And so just for your information, you can always see these links at the top of my website. I'm here on Facebook. I've talked about Instagram. Today was my 10,000th post in 4 years. You've gotta go to the blog. Go to beckyhiggins.com and look at today's blog post because I'm not only taking you down a little walk down memory lane, I'm sharing my very first post I did 4 years ago in June. But I also shared our all-time most liked top 10 pictures on Instagram. And you will not believe the number one. I'm like, when I found out, when Race pulled up the analytics and we saw the very most popular, most liked picture of all the 10,000 posts I've ever done, what? That one? Really? Anyways, it's kind of fun. So go to beckyhiggins.com and check out the blog. Okay, Bobby Joe, I'm going to keep going back to you because you, Cutie Pie, are leaving all these awesome questions and comments. She says, I'm amazed that you managed to keep the very personal feeling relationships while still being a big company. I love being on the creative team. We felt like a part of the family. You guys are doing it right. Thank you, Bobby Joe. She has been a part, she is a part, forever eternal part of our family, being on the Project Life creative team. And thank you for that compliment. It's a hard balance, and it's also very natural for us. We want you guys to know about our products. We want you to know that Project Life is a system that can help you, whether you use the physical product or the app or the digital product. We want you to feel like you can tackle that hot mess of photos. That's why I keep sharing about Project Photo Rescue. We want to promote when we have a sale. We want to do the things that are related to the business, but we are people. We are mothers. We've got a dad on board. We are sisters, wives, not sister wives. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. We are family members. We are working parents. We have a lot going on, and we're real. You know, Wendy likes to chew her ice. I eat cold cereal. Like, come on, we're real. So we're always gonna share stuff like that. But thank you, Bobby. That was really sweet. Okay. Jordan says, Wendy and Tony are the best. High five. They have helped me a few times. That's so good to hear. And they truly are the best. If you've ever had a customer service issue, whether it be with the shop or with the app, they are your girls and they're taking care of you. So I'm glad to hear that. And they definitely are going to feel the love. Christina says, I like the organization post. I bought Marie Kondo's book and love it. It's great to take pics on, of the process. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. I love that. And I do share, organizational stuff. In fact, another hashtag that I have is BH Adventures in Decluttering. And anytime, because I'm constantly working on it, it is not a once and done thing. It is not. In our life, we've been married for 21 years and we have a lot of, you know what, fill in the blank, right? And so we're constantly chipping away at decluttering, and it feels so good. And why not share that if it's inspiring to you to help you declutter? Awesome. All right, other comments, and then we gotta wrap up. Caitlin says, congrats on 10K, Becky. When you looked back, I think I just spit, excuse me. When you looked back over your Instagram to write your blog post, did you find any that stood out to you as your favorites? Is there a post that you like the most? No, that's a hard one. Gosh, no, they're so different. They're so different. I don't know, Caitlin, that's such a hard question. I wish I had a good answer to you, but I will say that when you look on the blog and you see the top 10 most liked posts of all 10,000 posts that we've done in the past 4 years on Instagram, I was surprised by some of them. I was like, wow, really, that is the top 10. And you know what it tells me? It speaks volumes to what you guys like. It tells me what you like. And by golly, if you like it, I'll share it. I'll share more about that kind of stuff. So, great question. Okay, Kelly says, I love your recommendations. I just bought the nail clippers you recommended a while ago and love them, right? They're so good. Nail clippers are never created the same. And you guys, to this point, like, what do nail clippers have to do with scrapbooking? They don't. That's the thing. We're pretty mixed bag around here. And like I said, unapologetically, we're gonna share hashtag BH favorites because we're normal people with nails who want the best quality nail clipper. So my husband tracked it down, found it in Amish country in Pennsylvania at some knife shop. I'm not even making this up. You can find them on Amazon. So I shared it. I'm like, hey, these are the best nail clippers ever. If you wanna know what they are, by the way, just tap on hashtag BH favorites and scroll back until you see nail clippers, and those are the best ones. Anyway, so glad that you guys like it. Okay, you guys, I can totally see your comments and they are so delayed because you guys are saying, yes, I agree, so frustrating, lame. Yeah, and you're talking about what I was talking about is so lame with the whole like how minimal our reach is with a bigger following. It's so weird. Anyway, I am seeing lots of delayed comments. Hold on. All right. Rebecca Jones says, sorry, what is cold cereal? Well, there's cold cereal and hot cereal. So hot cereal is like porridge or oatmeal, or that's considered like a cereal. And cold cereal, I'm guessing you may not be in the US. Cold cereal is like Cocoa Puffs and Rice Krispies and Raisin Bran. It's a processed food that's not good for you for the most part, and you pour milk over it, and that's a cold cereal. Who knew? Okay, Lisa says, I loved the messy bun tutorial. Okay, so that, it seems unrelated to what we're talking about and wrapping up here in a minute, I promise. But Lisa, to your point, I've done a hair tutorial on YouTube, and Wendy, who you guys all love, has done a messy bun hair tutorial as well. Because why? Because you guys have asked, like, how do we style it? And by the way, guys, I washed my hair and came to work. I came to work with wet hair, so I didn't style it. I'm sorry. I usually like try to put myself together a little bit more. But Wendy did this messy bun hair tutorial, and like Lisa's saying, she loves it. Yeah, it's not really the scrapbooking, but it's so fun, and we have a good time. Heidi says that she loves our top 10. Yeah, thank you. That's so cool. Terry says she uses the nail clippers as a corner rounder. You are kidding me, right? You're not kidding? That's for real? That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Last comment. Let's see. Christina says cold cereal gets a bad rap because it's sugary and not that chia seed that everyone raves about. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. We gotta stop. Okay. So, any other questions? Oh, somebody asked, by the way, okay. Last thing, I promise. Last thing. Right before I got on Facebook Live, and the reason I was a little bit later than I expected is because we were literally in a social media meeting. These are all of things that we were going through and talking about and discussing and strategizing. So that's the note I want to end on. We are a company that is, somebody says that we're a big company. I actually don't think that we're a big company. It's a relative term, but we're very little. We're actually a really little company in terms of how many people we have here. I have 7 full-time employees, and we're small, but we have a huge reach. We are a worldwide company. We have teamed up with, yes, Bobby Joe, I'm on my Facebook Live on my phone. This is my iPhone right here. iPhone 6 Plus is what I'm using. We have a worldwide audience. We have a huge reach, and it's relative. It's not huge compared to some. But I still think that we are a small company, and we feel like a small company. I'm grateful to have been, that we are partnered up with the right companies to help us to have that worldwide reach. American Crafts is one of our partners who actually produces Project Life, which is our system and our products, and they actually get it manufactured and sold into the retail space so that we can be sitting in thousands of retail stores right now around the globe. That's an example of one partnership that we have. And so, so the reason I wanted to end on that note is we're small, but we're big. We're big, but we're small. Kind of in this medium place of business size, but social media is no joke. And even though it looks on the surface like it's all just fun, and trust me, we have fun. We have such a good time. We are dear friends around here, and we love each other, and we have a good time. All of what you're seeing is so real. Like, we are just real with what we're sharing. There's also a ton of work that goes into not just the social media, but everything. I'm stating the obvious, but when we're talking specifically about social media, there is so much tender, loving care that we give and that we've continued to give to social media over the years. And I that's intentional. I believe that because you and I can't sit across a table together, and yet many of you are my customer, you're actually using Project Life and you love it, and I can't sit with you and hang out with you and talk to you about it, this is the next best thing. Social media is amazing. We get to communicate. And now, hello, live video is another thing. Like, we get to engage, and I get to see your comments, and yeah, it would be better if we could all hang out in a live space where I can see and talk to you all, but there's so many of you at any given time that it can't ever be like exactly like that. So I love and appreciate, and I mean this sincerely, I love and appreciate and feel a heart full of gratitude for technology, for social media that allows us to connect. At the end of the day, yeah, there's a product to sell. Yeah, there's an idea to share. At the end of the day, we are connecting, and I love this community. I love that we can connect over things that we have in common, that we enjoy together. Christina says relationships are key. That's it. And that is what is at our core and what we believe and what we love. Last thing, this is cool. And I get to connect with a lot of you, but this is definitely not one-on-one. And there is a way that you and I can have a chance to have a one-on-one. And I forgot about this until just now, so I'm going to end on this note. If you go over to Instagram, I know we're in Facebook Live, but they're owned by the same company anyway. So if you go to Instagram, right before I got on this broadcast, I posted a share that says, what does it say? It's contest time. It's turquoise. You can't miss it. Becky Higgins LLC is what you are looking for. And all you have to do is leave a comment there, and I'm going to choose one of you at random. We are going to choose one of you at random to have a one-on-one Skype conversation with me so that you and I can sit across from each other through the screen, but it's one-on-one. And for 30 minutes, the winner can choose any topic. We can talk about business, we can talk about family, we can talk about project life, we can talk about your hot mess that needs project photo rescue, whatever you want. All you have to do is just leave a comment over there on Instagram, and we'll choose somebody, and we're gonna have that Skype conversation. That's just one fun little thing that we thought would be cool to do as a celebration of today's 10,000th Instagram post. So, all right, on that note, and Lorraine, I'll let your closing comment be the last one that I share from you guys. She says, without social media, I would never have found Project Life. Right, that's the thing. Project Life would be this big if it weren't for social media. But you guys, we have possibility in our businesses and in our personal lives to reach so much greater potential because we have this way of connecting through technology. Can I get an amen? Nobody's in here to give it to me. All right, thanks for being here. I'm gonna end this now. Hopefully I can do it right. And this, bye to all of you who are live, and bye and thank you to all of you who are my replay viewers who are catching this later. I'm grateful all of you are here, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.